Good morning. So lovely to see all of you. Welcome. Welcome to the Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We are a spiritually diverse, justice-seeking religious community with one great aim: to grow in love. Love for neighbor, love for ourselves, and love for our planet. I'm the Reverend Sara LaWall. It is my great honor to serve this beloved community. I'm joined this morning by Debra Smith, who is serving as our celebrant, and our always wonderful, just perfect timing, Carrie Bastian, our music director, walks right in. I want to take a moment in our time of gathering and centering to welcome those of us that are joining online, our Zoom community. Let's turn around and wave at our cameras, send them some love. And friends on Zoom, you know now that we have an opportunity to see your beautiful faces here in the sanctuary. So if you're able to turn your cameras on for a moment, we'd love to see who is out there. Good morning, John and Jane and Edith and Jim and Sheila. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Wanda, as you turn your cameras all around. Good morning, Cece and Mac. I see you out there on Zoom land. Nice to see you. Sad you're not here in front with us today, but I'm happy you're there on Zoom. Good morning, Aaron and Nona and Gwen and Bill. It's so great to see all of you this morning. A special welcome to all of our newcomers who are also joining us this morning, whether you're joining us in person or online on Zoom. We know it takes a lot of courage to cross the threshold into a new community, and we're so glad that you have chosen us this morning. We invite you to take some time to introduce yourselves to us during our hospitality time after the service or in the chat so that we can warmly welcome you. And we have newcomer forms for you to fill out so that we can keep you connected with all of the ways that you can engage here in the fellowship and meet members and other newcomers. And I have one special announcement this morning that I want to highlight for everyone. Next Sunday, April 14th, we are officially launching. We did a little soft launch. Now we're doing the big official launch of our capital campaign. Next Sunday, yes, we should applaud. We have been in our quiet phase, and we're excited to officially launch it next Sunday with a festive worship service and an interactive celebration after the service with stations where you can see some of the specific design elements that our teams are talking about for the sanctuary. You can connect with HVAC folks to hear updates on that project. And if you're dying to know how our annual budget works, you can come visit me at my station. And I will tell you that our event team, though, has thematic snacks planned for every station. So you don't want to miss this. Friends who can't join us in person, who will be on Zoom, we'll have a special Zoom presentation for you as well to highlight some of the same things that folks are experiencing here. So we hope that you will all join us for that exciting kickoff. Each week, we center ourselves, begin our service by lighting our flaming chalice, the symbol of our free faith, a beacon of hope, love, and justice. As we light the chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you in our virtual community, if you have a chalice or a candle nearby, to light one, and then share in the chat where it is you have lit your chalice this morning. Oh, bless you. It's fun. It's fun to light the chalice once in a while. I enjoy it. With our collective chalices lit in all of our spaces, I invite us to continue in centering ourselves, grounding ourselves in our bodies as we sing together our two gathering hymns this morning, inviting us to connect with the earth. I invite you to rise and embody your spirit. We'll start with hymn number 1073 in our teal hymnal, And on the screen, it's this beautiful chant, "The earth is our mother." Stay standing. We have one more beautiful gathering hymn to go. That sounded beautiful. And now for an entirely different change of pace. Hymn number 21 in our gray hymnal, a traditional hymn tune, "For the Beauty of the Earth."
come from and live on land considered sacred by indigenous people known as Bannock, Paiute, Shoshone, and many other tribes that lived here sustainably for thousands of years. We strive to understand and reframe our responsibilities to land, to community. In the spirit of respectful reciprocity, we honor the original caretakers of this place. We affirm the relationships we have to each other, including our relations to animals and insects that inhabit the water, land, and sky. We recognize the relationship, the responsibility to quiet creeks, rushing rivers, rustling grasses, to sprawling forests, to the brilliant palettes of the sky, to the roots that grip the soil, to the earth beneath our feet. Water is life. To all of us affected by the boarding school revelations, may we be granted compassionate understanding. May we find healing in the harm that lives in our history. We honor and support the right to sovereignty for our indigenous neighbors. We acknowledge that a land acknowledgement is not enough. Now, let us breathe together. Let us take a moment to enjoy the delicious air, the oxygen provided by tree. Hold to the warm light of sun. Consider the solidity, the groundedness of earth. Flow with refreshing, life-giving water. Let the mud settle. Find clarity of mind and spirit. Welcome our ancestors. Enjoy this present moment together.
Our land acknowledgement fits so beautifully with our monthly spiritual theme. Our themes continue following the book An Altar in the World by Barbara Brown Taylor, a book that explores spiritual practices and ordinary life and simple, accessible ways in which we engage with them. So this month we dive into the theme of groundedness, the practice of walking on the earth. Today's service invites us to explore the indigenous practice of walking in beauty, or the beauty way, from the Navajo Dene peoples as a way of realigning ourselves and our spirits to being of the earth. As Barbara Brown Taylor writes, the beauty of physical practices like walking on the earth is that you do not have to know what you are doing in order to begin. You just begin, and the doing teaches you what you need to know. So as we enter into this time of worship together, I invite us all to take a breath together. Fill your body with breath. Breathe, knowing that our breath connects us to one another, the source of life, and to our planet. Our breath offers us an opportunity for stillness, to tune in to our spiritual center, to listen deeply to our heart's own longing. As you hear the words of our opening poem this morning, I invite you to hear those thines and thous as expressed to the earth itself. Thou art the song of my heart in the morning. Thou art the dawn of truth in my soul. Thou art the dew of the roses adorning. Thou art the woven whole. Thine is the grace to be steadfast in danger. Thine is the peace that none can destroy. Thine is the face of the need-riven stranger. Thine are the wings of joy. Thou art the deep, to the deep in me calling. Thou art a lamp where my feet shall tread. Thy way is steep past the peril of falling. Thou art my daily bread. Thine be the praise of my spirit uplifted. Thou art the sea to each flowing stream. Thine be the days that are gathered and sifted. Thou art the deathless dream.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expanding. The message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings. The oneness of everything. Peace is in the dance of trees who stir before the first breath of wind is yet perceived. Trust in the song becoming one with the dance, and all mysteries can be believed. Songs of lies long past the touch our own are written in the earth ever giving. And now to maintain the harmony gives to us all lives worth living. For the oneness of everything. Still, we seek to find a truth that we might understand and reduce to terms defined. Vast and immeasurable time, space, also overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years, just might I know the faith that winters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life enters my soul as a song to sing.
We are centered now, so I offer you this call to worship by poet, musician, playwright, and member of the Muskogee Nation, Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know. Except in moments steadily growing and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky in wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, see ourselves, and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty. Come, let us worship together.
In beauty, I would like to invite our beautiful young people to come up and join me up front for our time for all ages. So if you're in the back playground over there, come on down for this part. And friends, I'm gonna invite you to scoot yourselves this way a little bit. We have a wagon now full of blankets and pillows. If you'd like a blanket or a pillow, feel free to come and grab a blanket or a pillow. Our Wonder Box is back today. I wonder. And we're starting a new theme, and our new theme is groundedness, the practice of walking on the earth. And so our Wonder Box has our earth teacher inside. And so I wonder what our earth teacher is. Can you all come around, come up close so that you can see? I'm going to do this. Would you like to open up the Wonder Box? What's in there?
Dirt.
What? Dirt? That's it? Just dirt? What does dirt have to teach us? To walk on the ground. Yes, to walk on the ground. Yes.
It's not just dirt, it's soil.
Ooh, okay, now, Carissa, we got applause for that one. I gotta get my book here. And why is soil significant?
It helps plants grow.
It helps plants grow, and plants help nourish our bodies and our hearts and our spirits, right? There's a lot of beauty we can get in plants. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what I'm gonna talk to the grown-ups about later, which is the beauty way. It's an orientation of a way of being in the world that comes from the Navajo people, in their language, the Dene people. And they have a way of understanding this beauty way using the 4 directions, east, south, west, north, and the center, as a way of expressing how we move through life and how we understand the different ways in which the phases of life and all of the beauty in there. And so we have some things hidden in our earth teacher, the dirt, to help share our story. And So Elliot, would you like to dig around in the dirt for a minute and see if you can find something hidden in there? Yeah. Okay, just one thing, though. See if you can find just one thing. And when you find the one thing, pick it up out of there and tell me what did you find? Ooh, what is that? This is a stone. What color is this stone? Gray, blackish. This black stone represents the direction of north, and this is the time of life of elderhood, of grandparenting, right? That's what black being like the midnight of life, the winter of life, where it teaches us beauty and reverence for the natural order of things. Okay, so that's what the Navajo people believed about north and black, was that elder time in your life. What else, Max? Can you find us one in here? There it is. Ooh, that's a cool one. Another stone. What color is this stone?
Rainbow kind of?
It's kind of rainbow. Wow.
Is that opal?
I don't know what it is, but it's really beautiful, isn't it? This rainbow stone, the Navajo people believe that this beauty way is represented by a rainbow. This is the center of all that is. The spirit of life, the source of all. The way we communicate with that divine holiness that lives within us and beyond us that we can't quite understand, and it's represented by a rainbow. How cool is that? Because, you know, we as Unitarian Universalists, we kind of love rainbows, right? They're everywhere. Rainbows signify the diversity of people, of thought, of how we show up in the world, colors of our principles, all kinds of cool things. You would like to do one, Maisie? Okay. Well, you can look while you're digging. There you go. Oh, yeah, can you clean that off a little bit for me? Great. Ooh, what color is that one? Ooh. Is this yellow, Jem? This is the yellow. This is yellow. This is, I just want to make sure. The yellow represents the West. The West. And this is the part of life of parenthood or of adulthood. This is also, the yellow is about, this is the time of life that's like sunset time, right? It's about family and home and storytelling. Okay. Oh, I see that one. You see that one? Okay. Oh, here's the white. So now we know, compared to the yellow, that this is white. This is the very beginning of life. This represents all of you, childhood, and the beginning of life, like the sunrise and all of the brilliance of the new sun and the new day. I think we have one more in here, yes? Okay, Beckett, come on. There, did you find it? There it is, you found it. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that one. That's blue. This is youth. This is more like for Carissa right here. And me, maybe. Maybe not. One can dream. This is youth. But here's what's significant about stones. Here's why we hid stones in the earth, right? They're everywhere. And also because stones are pretty simple. And yet they're so beautiful. And they have there's so much, these representations of all that is available to us to see the simple beauty in our lives, including the phases of our lives, from childhood to youth to adulthood to elderhood and all that lies in the center of that. And I'm going to pose a thought for you to remind you of the beauty of those phases of life, but that even as we grow, we maintain some of those phases. We move through those phases still, even as grown-ups. There are moments in our life when we remember and feel and express that childlike self. And there are moments when many of you, because we have seen it in that church, express that wise elder that lives inside you. with a lot of deep wisdom to teach all of us. So today is about going in beauty. And I invite you, I think you're going to do your own beauty walk today. So I invite you, as you're doing your beauty walk, to really pay attention to the simple bits of beauty that you see around you, the beauty of our earth and the beauty of life. Let's sing our community blessing together, and the beauty of dirt. You can stay here all you want, darling. As a beloved community, we strive to live out our values in the world and right here among each other each week, and celebrate our commitments to being a multi-generational community, a community of generosity, a community of care and connection, and a community of welcome. As part of our service this morning, we are so pleased to welcome a whole new passel of new members, those who have chosen to join our congregation and become official members. Whether you are born into Unitarian Universalism or you came to it later in life, when you decide to become a member of a congregation, you do so of your own choosing, which makes this moment particularly important and special. So I'd like to invite Jan Salisbury, our board president, to come up and join me for our new member welcome ceremony.
The Boise Unitarian Universalist Fellowship is a free congregation covenanting together to support each other in our search for truth, meaning, and spiritual growth. We do not subscribe to a creed or dogma, but are guided by values and principles that help affirm and promote the fulfillment of our highest aspirations and our deepest beliefs as we strive for beloved community where no one is a stranger. As your names are called, we invite new members to come up here to the chancel to be recognized. We have a special new member gift bag for you, and we are so pleased to have 11 new members joining today. Mary Adams, Michael Howard, David Nichols, Rebecca Stern, Don Mansfield, Ed Pack, Charlotte Terashanti, Lisa Heck, Stephanie McPhail, and Don Sparling, and DeAndre
And line up
Cahill.
if you would, please.
Please
Let's see.
come on down.
Lisa. Dawn and Dawn. Well, I'm so glad you're here.
Okay.
We have flowers.
This is an important moment in the life of this congregation. Each of you has chosen to become part of this community, sharing in both the privileges and responsibilities of membership. In joining this congregation, today your story is added to the living local tradition of over 100 years, which is part of the larger Unitarian Universalist faith, which came into being more than 500 years ago. As a new member of this congregation, we invite you to join in the traditions, the activities, and the work of the congregation. Members of the Boise UU Fellowship, will you covenant together to welcome these new members before you, to be open and inclusive, respecting their inherent dignity, their ideas and vision, in times when it is easy and in times when it is difficult? If so, please say, "We will."
And to our new members, in return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. We welcome you as equal members of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey. I heard one of my senior colleagues once say that you don't really officially become a member of a congregation until your church disappoints you. So know that it will happen, friends, and know that we will be here to do our best to repair and to express our love for one another and the aspirations of our principles and values of this faith. If you accept this role of membership to the Boise UU Fellowship and covenant to affirm and promote the principles and values of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, to covenant to contribute your time, talent, and resources toward making ours a creative, caring, loving, compassionate, and joyous community, please say, "We will."
We will.
I invite all of us to rise together and all of you here to join together in our membership affirmation. The words are here on our screens. As members of this fellowship, our commitment to our UU principles shapes our true purpose in being together. We will continue to minister to one another, bringing our whole selves to this endeavor. We renew our covenant and seek and speak the truth in love, nurture spiritual growth, and practice justice within, among, and beyond these walls. Amen. Okay, new members, stay right here. Congratulations. Let's give a round of applause for our new members and let's take a picture. Beautiful. Thank you. Welcome. Love seeing the bright shock of color following you around out there. Welcome, members, new members. It's so lovely to have you with us. Each week, we take time to acknowledge the joys and sorrows and passages in our gathered community, in our beloved community, to give and receive and carry those joys and sorrows for one another, that we might lift our burdens together and receive the blessing of community. And it is through our sharing with one another that we forge deep bonds of community and connection. We begin by sharing these joys and sorrows. Anne-Marie Bussolini shares a joy and thanks to all of you who sent healing energy her way. It's working. Recovery is going so well, and she thanks you for all the cards and the well wishes. It means so much to be part of a beloved community.
I have a late-breaking joy. Let's have a round of applause and a huzzah for our minister who was featured on the front page of the newspaper this morning to honor the 48,000 hearts that were dropped in our rotunda. This civil action honored the 48,000 self-identified LGBTQIA members, our brothers and sisters and fellows and fellas who are a part of us. So thank you.
Thank you, Debra. I had no idea it was on the front page. I did not read the paper this morning. And I will tell you, that was an extraordinarily joyful moment to be able to participate in that action. And thank you to all of you who helped make hearts and write notes on hearts. I know several of you, I know one person who made 100 of her own hearts. We delivered our hearts. And I want to tell you one other thing. As we were loading up our bags of hearts to dump over the Capitol railing on the 4th floor, where we all thought for a hot minute we might get arrested for dumping hearts, which we all cleaned up lovingly. I was in a random bin and I saw hearts that I knew were from this community. So your hearts were dropped out of my bag, which was really a sweet moment for me. And it was just such a beautiful act of joyful resistance. And there was something really powerful about gathering up all of that love and cleaning it up so tenderly and carefully. And we have hopeful plans to use those hearts again in the future. I share with you the gratitude from Diane Schwabe for all of your cards and thoughts and connections after the death of her brother this past month. And she shares, "This is one of the many reasons I'm so glad and comfortable to be a member of this Booth community. I don't know what I'd do without you." Thank you, Diane, for expressing what so many of us feel in our heart. Ollie Newman shares the joy, Ollie's back here, that he received grants from the Idaho Commission on the Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts to print some of his abstract photography to approach galleries for showing. Congratulations, Ollie, that's exciting. And we share in the continued progress and joyful moment of Michael Barker and his family. Michael is under CAR-T therapy for leukemia. He is doing well. He's out of the hospital. He's finally off the steroids. He has some tests scheduled, and his family are extremely hopeful for good news. And we share in the sorrow that our beloved member Edna Groves is moving back to the Midwest next week, driven by her daughter, Jackie Groves. Edna, we will certainly miss having you among us and wish you well on your move. If you are holding someone in your heart this morning, I invite you to speak their name aloud or share it in the chat into this community of love that we might hold them with you. May the arms of this community hold all our joys and sorrows, those spoken aloud, and those that remain silent and close to our hearts. May we feel the grace that surrounds us and be transformed by the spirit of life and love, with warmth to celebrate our joys and with a gentleness to soothe our aching hearts. Breathe with me. Fill your body with breath. Breathe into your sacred space, this sacred space. Breathe with this beloved community filled with loving kindness. Breathe with wholeheartedness. Listen to what is calling you in the silence. Blessed be.
The purpose of our church is to encourage all who gather here to grow more generous in spirit and in action. It is a blessing to be able to govern and support our religious community ourselves as we perform the sacred work of aligning our deeds with our stated principles. This month, we are also asked to breathe life into the words of our land acknowledgement by contributing to the plate partner, which for the month of April is the Shoshone-Paiute tribes of Duck Valley Indian Reservation. Here to share more about our work and relationship with Duck Valley is Rick Groff.
Good morning, everyone. As you know, the Shoshone-Paiute tribes, I'm using those words right now. I'm going to tell you how to pronounce them next, okay? Were chosen by the Social Justice Council to be our April plate partner. I don't know exactly how to pronounce these words. I couldn't find it online. But just so that you know, Niwi means people. In white colonialist speak, they are called Shoshones. Numa means the people. In white colonialist speak, they are called Paiutes. So let's try that. Instead of saying Shoshones, what are we going to say? Thank you. And instead of saying Paiutes, what do they call themselves? Numa. Thank you. Many of you know Becky and I have a strong connection to Duck Valley, and I feel a call to action whenever I hear a land acknowledgement at Booth. Our congregation has been in relationship to some degree with the people of Duck Valley since pre-Christmas 2020, when we made our first financial award to the tribes. We have also donated cold weather outer gear to the tribes for the last 2 winter seasons, thanks to Eileen and Tom. Curated, purchased, and delivered books by and about Native Americans for a children's library at a Duck Valley Community Center, thanks to Becky, Esmeralda, and Rick. We purchased food for a bike rodeo at Duck Valley in conjunction with the Boise Bicycle Project, which was held April 1st, and this is thanks to the congregation. A little bit more about Duck Valley and its people. The reservation is nearly straight south of us and is split between Idaho and Nevada. It is around 140 road miles from Boise. The reservation originally was for the Niwi. Later, the reservation was expanded to include the Numa. Wikipedia says, the Northern Paiute bands became allied with their kin, the Bannock, in the Bannock War of 1878 and were subsequently sent to a prisoner of war camp in Yakima, Washington. Upon their release, the survivors were returned to their homelands, and the Duck Valley Reservation was expanded for their use in 1886. There are 2,269 members of the tribes, and the population of Duck Valley is about 1,200 people. The tribes are governed by an elected business council, and the vice chair is Arnold Thomas, who was the tribal leader that I worked with the past 2 years. Their land is held in common and may not be mortgaged or sold. Portions can be leased. Where am I here? Portions can be leased for cattle ranching and such activities, but it can't be sold. Each tribal member is entitled to an assignment of land when they reach the age of 21 or marry. Tom Neal, Esmeralda Roman, and I met with Vice Chair Arnold Thomas March 21st about the ways we could support the community. It was a friendly, productive visit, and he offered us several ways to support the tribes. The overheads will reflect these, I think they're starting to come up now. The overheads reflect these possibilities. We also met with the tribal social worker, Tamara Ashley, and she offered us several possibilities for volunteering as well. I already mentioned the bike rodeo. Tamara also asked if we wanted to participate in their Round Dance community event on April 27th by having a booth for the children. The booth will only be participating as several people volunteer and create a booth and assist at Duck Valley. You have been very generous to Duck Valley in the past, and I am hoping you will continue to support this partnership with Duck Valley now. Vice Chair Thomas stated that the Niwi Numa have many needs and will decide how to use the award after it is received. I would especially like to thank Reverend Sara for her loving support over these 3.5 years.
Thank you, Rick. There are many ways you can make a financial gift in addition to dropping it in the offering baskets. You can scan the QR code on the screen, and you'll be taken right to the online giving page, or you can visit our website at boiseuu.org and click Give in the top right corner, and you can use the Vanco app on your smartphone. For our online community, we'll also drop a link in the chat. However you choose to give, you nurture our community, and we are grateful. I invite the ushers to come forward. Our offering will be gratefully received.
I invite our ushers to bring our offering forward and invite all of you to join together in this collective blessing of our offering gifts. We bless these gifts so freely given. May generosity always be our companion as we walk the holy path toward ever greater compassion and beauty. Thank you.
Our reading is by Rita Dove, Reverie in Open Air. I acknowledge my status as a stranger, inappropriate clothes, odd habits out of sync with wasp and wren. I admit I don't know how to sit still or move without purpose. I prefer books to moonlight, statuary to trees. But this lawn has been leveled for looking, so I kick off my sandals and walk its cool green. Who claims we're mere muscle and fluids? My feet are the primitives here. As for the rest, the air now is a tonic of absence, bearing nothing but news of a breeze.
Thank you, Carrie. That was beautiful. As Debra shared in her late-breaking announcement, most of you know that I have been pretty active during this legislative session, advocating, pleading, protesting, supporting our community and other advocates, and I have no words for this session. It's been a doozy. I've always felt a call in my ministry to do justice work and a call in a commitment to giving voice to our liberal religious values and our UU faith. So I show up on behalf of all of us and certainly feel all of you with me in that space, especially here in the state of Idaho, in a state that seems to think it's just fine to pretend that only one religious view exists. Many of you I know have been advocating as well. Some of you, I think Mary Ruck has been there every single day. The committee chairs know her by name now. Thank you, Mary. Advocating to stem the tide of irrational control of bodies and books and classrooms and healthcare and pronouns. It feels like a time warp in that building sometimes. In the cavernous hallways surrounded by marble and fluorescent lights and red carpet and seats. And inevitably, we walk out of that building. You can walk out of there on any given day, and we ask ourselves, did that really just happen? So needless to say, this time of year, I really struggled to find any sense of groundedness. I get so caught up and overwhelmed in the fight and flooded in righteous anger and frustration and indignation, and even, especially this year, a sense of despair. I struggle to see beauty. And that's not entirely true. I don't struggle to see beauty. In these awful, scary, concerning times, I see beauty most in community, in the faces and presence of all of the people, all of our beloveds, all of you working so hard just to live their lives in peace and maybe with some joy. In all the people working so hard to make a difference, and all of you connecting and engaging and supporting the flourishing of this community so that we can be a refuge for one another and for the larger community. So I see lots of beauty. But I'm not always good at allowing myself to feel the pleasure of experiencing beauty, slightly different. Because doing that requires a kind of slowing down and spaciousness that I rarely allow myself. It requires shifting my orientation to time, to the present moment, and requires opening myself up to the well of emotion most likely to rise up within me when I slow down enough and allow myself to truly experience beauty. And yet I know, and you know, we all know that beauty is medicine for the soul, particularly the beauty of our earth, which exists anywhere and everywhere we find ourselves, especially right here. We need only notice and attune ourselves to it. And the best way to do this is through one of the most ancient yet simple spiritual practices, walking. Moving through the world, through the earth, among the earth's beauty, and not walking for a purpose or a destination, but walking just to receive and experience beauty. The Navajo Diné peoples knew this. Their central understanding of the purpose of life is Hozo Nasha, to walk in beauty. They are taught about the importance of walking in beauty, and in all of their ceremonies and songs, all of it reflects the concept of Hozo, the beauty way. It's been said that Hozo may be the most important word in the Navajo language. It's often translated as balance and beauty, also translated as the natural order. The concept of Hozo carries with it an important emphasis on the state of harmony. But for the Navajo people, walking in beauty is more than just noticing the pretty flowers and pausing for a few minutes to take in a beautiful sunset. It is their entire orientation to life. The spiritual path that honors the sacredness of life, which centers harmony and balance within ourselves, within our relationships, and of course with the earth, in a natural way of life. And the Dene people have a traditional blessing they use to express the beauty way, which I'm going to share with you. In beauty may I walk. All day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. Beautifully will I possess again, beautifully birds, beautifully butterflies. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With grasshoppers about my feet may I walk. With dew around my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty lively. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again, it is finished in beauty. It is finished in beauty. You can hear in those words, I hope you can hear in those words the reflections of these 4 cardinal directions and phases of life that I shared with our children in our time for all ages. Imagine if we all walked through life with this orientation. Imagine the shift in our way of being, in our relationships, in our energy, in our connection to life and to the earth. Unfortunately, our Western, colonized, capitalist society does not orient itself to the beauty way. We've been indoctrinated to generations of messaging that put work, wealth, power, productivity, and individuality at the center of our lives. But deep inside our inner being, our spiritual center, I believe there lies in all of us a longing for beauty, a pull toward that deeper purpose for our lives where we center connection, healing, wholeness, and transformation, a pull toward Hozo. And when we fall out of balance with this inner longing, this rhythm, following the beauty way can help us find our way back. When I began my ministerial internship as a seminarian, my leadership studies class, the cohort of fellow seminarians also doing internships at the same time, we were all given an assignment to take a beauty walk around the neighborhood of the church we were serving and write a short reflection about our experience and noticings. And the assignment was inspired by this Navajo practice of the beauty way. We were given reading assignments to anchor us in the concept. And I'll admit I had forgotten all about this assignment until I began immersing myself in our monthly theme and writing this sermon, and the memory started returning. And it's interesting that it is my internship congregation that gifted me this very stole that I'm wearing today. There's some deep connection there, I am certain. I wished I'd hung on to the practice. I wish I'd made a regular and intentional practice because I remember how it changed the way I thought about that church, doing it right at the start of my internship. It changed the way that I thought about the work. It changed the way I thought about myself. Because to walk in beauty is to see it everywhere, even in those places and spaces conventionally considered ugly or less than beautiful, perhaps. It is to see it even in the quirks of congregational life and small church dynamics, even in the flubs and blunders and unskillful and delicate moments of interaction in a congregation. Even in those disappointments. Even, for example, in a story I often tell, when the board spent 45 minutes discussing who owned or controlled access to the garden shed. Even then, there is beauty to be found. Because the blessing of the beauty way that invites beauty to walk with us, before us, behind us, all around us. And if we can walk with that much beauty surrounding us, then we can most certainly bring it with us into our lives, our work, our spirituality. And we might just allow ourselves to see beauty first. That is what I want for all of us, to walk in beauty first, to walk in beauty together, to invite beauty to enter our gatherings and connections and even our meetings before anything else. If we can do that, then the specific outcomes and the productivity and the deadlines soften and tend to occur more organically as we realize they matter less than the beauty that exists all around us, right in front of us. Navajo tribal elder and historian Wally Brown says, "You cannot walk in beauty if you do not understand joy, or if you have no happiness, or no confidence, or if you have no peace. The purpose of life," he says, "is that we have to have joy, happiness, confidence, and peace." Well, it's no wonder I struggle to experience beauty and feel any sense of groundedness during the legislative session. Because in that place, it is hard to find joy and happiness and confidence and peace. And when that feels hard and overwhelming, I find I often need to push myself toward beauty, to drag myself out the door and on a walk and try to reconnect with myself and the earth. Back in June, I shared in a sermon that sometimes in order to force that beauty, that connection with beauty, and conjure it up, I force myself on a walk and narrate the beauty, literally saying things like, "Look at the beautiful sky. Breathe it in. Look at the trees. Look at the budding leaves and the flowers." My spiritual director calls this Gestalt spiritual practice. Works for me. I just keep directing myself to pay attention until it starts to just come naturally. Sometimes it takes like a half an hour, and sometimes, especially if I'm experiencing a lot of stress, it doesn't always work. But I just keep doing it. And I know, and you know, that it's the practice that matters more than the outcome. So when the practice starts to become more automatic, I can feel the shift happen in my body, in my breathing, and just the energy that I carry around me. It feels totally different. And I begin to slow down, to relax. The creativity seems to flow much more easily. I feel more content in the present moment with all that is, even when much of all that is feels difficult and sometimes painful. I'm just more able to be present to it and tender with myself. And those are the moments when I feel the most grounded, most connected to myself and to Source. Barbara Brown Taylor reminds us to detach the walking from the destination is in fact one of the best ways to recognize the altars you are passing by all the time. Most of us spend so much time thinking about where we have been or where we're supposed to be going that we have a hard time recognizing where we actually are. When someone asks us where we want to be in our lives, the last thing that often occurs to us is to look down at our feet and say, "Here, I guess, since this is where I am." It seems so simple, really, this walking on the earth, even as I struggle to actually do it. And I've found that when I reconnect with the earth, with where I actually am, particularly the beauty of the earth, even just the littlest bit, that it's the fastest, most direct way to reconnect with myself, my spirit, my heart's longing, even in the challenging moments, or rather, especially in the challenging moments. The beauty way invites us to remember that we are all part of this wonder of creation. Each of us possessing that divine spark and light within. We are of the earth, designed to experience beauty and feel the preciousness of life. The Buddhist monk and teacher Thich Nhat Hanh said, "The miracle is not to walk on water, but on the earth." Indeed, let us all pursue the miracle together, walking in the beauty way. May it be so. Amen. I invite us all to join together in a time of prayer and meditation. I offer our prayer today, our meditative prayer, in this prayer song of the sky loom from the songs of the Tiwa people. O Mother, our earth. O Father, our sky. O beloved creation. Weave for us a garment of brightness. May the warp be the white light of morning. May the weft be the red light of evening. May the fringes be the falling rain. May the border be the standing rainbow. Weave for us a garment of brightness, that we may walk fittingly where birds sing, that we may walk fittingly where grass is green. O Mother, our earth. O our Father, the sky. O beloved creation. Let us walk in beauty. Amen. Let us close out our beauty way by raising our beautiful voices together in one of our most beloved beautiful hymns, Blue Boat Home. Let us rise in gladiator spirit.
Oceans,
Friends, I invite you to place your hands over your heart for our closing blessing. As we travel this wide universe together, let us seek beauty. Beauty before us, beauty behind us, beauty above us, beauty all around us. Beauty in garden sheds, beauty in the earth, and beauty in the eyes of one another and our beloved community. Blessed are we all. Go in peace.